Hari Om friends. Now we will discuss few pointers from the book Pointers from Nisargadatta Maharaj, written by Mr. Balsekar. Mr. Balsekar was an associate or a disciple who used to visit the house of Nisargadatta Maharaj, where many foreign seekers who did not understand Marathi used to come, and he will also act at times as a translator to translate the question of seeker into Marathi and to translate back the answer of Sadguru Nisargadatta Maharaj from Marathi to English. And in many compilations, he has also used those answers and replies. Till the last breath of Nisargadatta Maharaj, Balsekar has been associated with him. Subsequent to the death of Nisargadatta Maharaj, Samadhi of Nisargadatta Maharaj, Mr. Balsekar used to stay in Mumbai near Breach Candy Hospital. He had a flat, and almost every day he will meet with all the seekers. Majority of seekers would come from foreign countries, and there will be a question answer session for about 1 to 2 hours. I also used to go and frequently listen to those dialogues, those questions and answers. Of course, his philosophy, his teachings were a bit different than what Maharaj used to explain. But in this book, Pointers from Nisargadatta Maharaj, he has very clearly summed up, summarized, highlighted the chief tenets of those teachings. So one of the fundamental teaching of Nisargadatta Maharaj is that there is one reality that is absolute, that is pure awareness, that is unmanifest, and it gets manifested through consciousness in various forms, in various lives, in multiple forms, and he calls it as a reflected consciousness. And when it takes the form, then in the form there is a matter, there is a vital force, that is the pranavayu, and then there is this consciousness which he calls I am. And he says this form is born and it leaves this planet at a certain decided time. It emerges from the essence, which is that unborn state, that is the absolute, and it merges back into that state, which is the absolute. So he again and again suggests his disciples, various seekers, to ponder over, to find out where were they, where was I before I was born. Rather, where was I before there was a conception of mine, or where I am going to go after my death. So the question you can put is, where was myself before 5 years of my birth, and where I am going to be after 50 years. Suppose you feel that you are going to live your body is going to live for 20 years, 30 years, you add 10 years more. Because surely many of us may not be here after 50, 60 years. So you put a question, where will I be after 50 years henceforth? So when you just put this question in your mind, a very clear answer which will give you immense peace, feeling of immense peace will come, I don't know. And you have no regret. You have no regret to accept this answer, I don't know. Otherwise, at times, there is some question, there is some puzzle which you are not going to solve, then you have a sense of regret, sense of resistance. Oh, I don't know. But here, with a complete peace, with a complete acceptance, you say, I don't know. And that state is a state of bliss. So he says again and again, you have to connect there. So that can be a good practice. We have already done it. We will repeat this practice. Now what he says, that how do you connect to that state, which is your true state, which is you are never born and you will never die. Once you touch that state, once you are able to visit that state, then only you have achieved something, you have attained something which is really unattainable. That is the unborn state. That is called Parabrahm state. And for that, what is the help with you? The only help is in the form of capital. And that capital, every sentient being has, every person, every human has that capital, that is I am, that is the consciousness. So he says, this capital is available to each one of you. And you have to use only this capital to make, to attain, that is unattainable. That is the unborn state. And what is the way out? Just stay into that state of consciousness, into that I amness, without getting it attached, without getting it associated with this or that. So once you are able to maintain yourself in that state of consciousness, that is the beingness, in its purest form, as it has descended in you when you were 1 year or 2 years old child, when it was not attached with your body, with your mind, with your thoughts. So in the same purest form, if you can maintain yourself for some time regularly, then it will happen, the real state from where you have come. You will be able to attain that unattainable. And he not only tells it theoretically, it is out of his own practical work he has done. He has practiced it on himself. He was a beedi store runner. He was a father of 4 children. He was living in a very poor condition or in a very average condition in a small chal at Mumbai. And his guru, Sri Siddharameshwar Maharaj, gave this mantra to him. Beta, you have only this capital, that is I amness. And he continued with it with full surrender, with full faith in his guru for 3 years. And he could realize unattainable, that is the Parabrahm state, that is the unborn state. I am unborn. I am prior to consciousness. This consciousness will make a shift and you will be in a prior to consciousness state. That is your true nature. Once you are in that state, there is no fear of death. There are no desires. There is no attachment. And he says, this is in fact liberation, but this liberation too is illusory, because your bondage was also illusory. And that is the purpose of human birth. That is the purpose of taking this form. And there will be no birth and no death, because birth and death is of body, and that is all illusion. So this is sum and substance of teachings of Nisargadatta Maharaj. We conclude this discourse here. Hari Om.